Good morning. It is 8:13 a.m. I am here in northern Manitoba. For you that don't know me or my channel, my name is Terrence, and my channel is Thompson Guy Tries. I make videos on trailers, trailer reviews, fun stuff. Uh, I talk about things that you know I think are funny or important. But lately, things that have been kind of like bugging me is just the history of what's been going on in the few years that you know. Um, so let's review. I just want to talk about some of the things I thought were pretty crazy. So one of the things that happened, I learned a few times that I've actually made videos on subjects of this nature. So one of the first things I want to talk about is like the election of not a Senate member becoming president or whatever. Who we talking about is Donald Trump. But the things he talked about were just I thought were some of the craziest things, and I thought it was just a fucking campaign joke or something. But but he started really getting votes. Like a lot of Americans wanted him to like be president because he promised like certain things I thought were fucking crazy. He started saying like, "Oh, we're gonna build a wall to the U.S. and Mexican border." I was holy fuck. I never. I don't know. I understand that the U.S. Has a problem with illegal aliens coming over the border from Mexico. Sorry, so what else is there? No, the problems they have, and it's mainly because of the problems they have there with certain criminal organizations in the Mexican, the country of Mexico. Yes, there is. It's like one of the. It's a major problem there. There's tons of videos of this organization, doing horrible things to people, terrible things. And I understand that the U.S. wants to keep that kind of like that element out of the country. But there's a lot of great things about the Mexican people that they forget. There's I can't listen it top of my head because I'm just there's so much I want to talk about. But those are some of the few things that have been kind of going on. Then they had the pipeline with even that was like the craziest thing I had ever heard. Like they were, was it? I can't remember where it was. Well, Native Americans in this area, they were protesting. They didn't want the water going or the pipeline going over or through their lake, which gave them fresh water. I don't know about you guys, but I think within the next few years, fresh water is going to be more valuable than gold, and people are going to be killing for water because if you look around, like in the states and certain parts of the world, clean water is like becoming more and more rare and harder to provide to communities, villages all over the place. I become so concerned with like talking about, uh, you know, I think some of them things like YouTube maybe has like a wide range of people that talk about kind of things like, but in social media I find like people talk about stupid things like for instance like making dumb little celebrities famous for saying whatever what the hell is that called, talk me outside or whatever it's called. And we got these rappers who are talking about dumb shit. Looks like Skittles. Who I'm talking about is that Takashi 6ix9ine. I just don't like this guy at all. I think he's a clown. There's like a whole lot of stuff there that's been kind of like going through my mind, and I think some of the things that the United States is doing is good. Some of it I think is a lot of it I think is like really bad. Like I'm sorry the Americans have gone through such a shitty few decades where um, there's the attacks of 9/11, and then they went to war for fucking Al Qaeda or whoever it was, ISIS and shit. And then they just started having more and more violent acts towards each other, particularly the blacks and the whites, and what was it, Black Lives Matter. And then we started having more and more school shootings, kids killing kids with guns and stuff like that. And what else is there? And, oh yeah, the huge mass shooting they had in Vegas. And they started talking about policies about changing, gun ownership and what a citizen should be allowed to have. Um, yeah, well, I understand. Like the president of the United States has policies set by for ex presidents to follow, but I think he could have done. I'm not a senator. I'm not sure how they fucking laws change and shit like that. But there's times where I thought this guy he could have done something really good. Then he almost picks a fucking fight with fucking Russia and fucking North Korea. Like I understand the world over in parts of like Europe and the Middle East are in pretty bad shape, but it's not up to the U.S. to police the world. I think I don't know why they have to be the ones to go in there and like, oh fuck, let's kick some ass and help these people out. I don't know if people have like it's their problems. It's not the U.S. problems of sending kids over to fight for someone. Uh, for from what I hear, there's war and there's money in war. Uh, and so what's going on lately in the United States is, I guess they have these camps on the borders of the Mexican and Texas border. They're putting kids in cages and separating the adults from children and whatever. There's audio and video on the you can find on YouTube and social media of these kids crying for their parents. I don't know. It's one of the things I hope that comes out of this is that there's a better policy, on immigration, because this does not look good for anyone who thinks that separating kids from their parents is a good thing. Then you guys are really got yourselves fucking twisted. It's not to say that things in Canada have been any better. There's only a few things I can think of the top of my head. The idiot fucking Prime Minister Trudeau, like Justin Trudeau, whatever fuck his name is. He talks about wanting to rehabilitate former ISIS terrorists, get it back into society. It's like, fuck that, motherfucker. Are you crazy? Like, ISIS is probably one of the worst terrorist groups to ever exist. I think they say they were worse than Al Qaeda, whatever the fuck they were called. Those fucking I hate terrorists. Anyone who fucking blows up fucking groups of people is a fucking coward. I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of like any of that fucking extremism shit. No one is. Like, they're a bunch of cunts. But fuck, I just wanted to like let you guys know that there's things that have to change in order for us to survive as a species. You know, there's things we actually fought for. We fought, you know, and we fought for what was right. We fought for peace. We fought for to defend the weak, not to stomp and to belittle, terrorize other countries. And the United States says, get out of our country. Like, we don't want them here. Technically, on a real thing, like if you were talking about going back to your country, you most of fucking North America didn't come from this country. Native Americans came from this country. Like we were here, like fucking the beginning, and you know the French and the English came over, invaded, murdered, and pillaged their way into this country. Oh, this is our land now. So no. So if we want to talk about fucking like you know who the terrorists were, I think they were the first people who actually came over and fucking did a lot of terrible shit to people. Yeah, I understand they needed to get away from the English because they were getting their asses kicked. Oh, let's go over here. And most of the Native Americans here didn't have like fucking weapons with like gunpowder and shit like that. So they come over, invade a country that's not theirs, and instead of trying to like work, you know, towards peace where they were getting their ass to, oh, okay, they ain't got no weapons that hurt us that bad. Let's fucking just invade and take over their land. Like I think they bought like New York for $20 or something like that, something crazy. But let's say that you know North America even then wasn't that like the Native Americans back then too had like, and I'm sorry I'm Native American just so you know, they had wars within their own societies, their own groups, with each other, like with like there's things that you know they've done that were not the most proudest things, but we lived with each other. We try to live towards peace, being peaceful with our friends, and we a lot of times Native Americans fought alongside, you know, the Americans. We fought with the Canadians. We fought for the Canadians, but we still been treated, you know, less of a human being because a lot of times here in Canada, Native Americans are kind of looked over and you know don't really give a shit about us half the time. We have homes that are in certain reserves that are like third world countries. We have families that are sharing like a 2 bedroom house, poor housing, like very, very like terrible conditions. And we have now like this whole thing with the kids being separated really bugs shit on me. But I don't know. Things need to change. So I'm gonna try stop right there because otherwise I'm gonna get too crazy and talk more and more about things that just piss me off. Take care, everyone. Bye.